When I listened to Joe Manchin yesterday, I thought two things. I thought this is a huge public breakthrough in his thinking about the Senate rules. And two, I thought he's been reading and listening to Norm Ornstein.
I thought the same thing, Lawrence, and it was, giddy, as a matter of fact. Look, we've still got a long ways to go, and we'll see what details work out. But, I consciously, and Al Franken and I have been talking to senators, and we've been talking this through for a while as well, but consciously wanted to look at something that I knew would resonate with people like Manchin and Sinema and Feinstein and some others who were not going to be willing to completely abolish this Rule 22, but would actually make a real difference in terms of giving Democrats a fighting chance and more to get some top priorities through. Something else I thought along those lines in the last day or two, Gabby Giffords is now spearheading the effort in the House, and they're going to vote on it very soon to get universal background checks. If we didn't change the rules on something like this, it would just die in the Senate. Nobody would really pay attention to it. 94% of Americans support it. Make them go round the clock. Make them have to come up with 41 votes on a regular basis that have to explain to people why they're against universal background checks for guns. That, democracy reform, and other things, we can begin to get some traction if we can make some of these sensible changes.
Norm, what I loved about your article, and the reason I wanted to have you on discussing it last week, is that you said in the article, and you told us, that you had been listening very carefully to what Joe Manchin has been publicly saying in the past about this Senate rule. You've been listening very carefully to what Senator Sinema has been saying. And what you tried to do was come up with a proposal that actually answers the concerns that Joe Manchin has publicly presented. And that is exactly the way you find compromise in the Senate. You, first of all, listen to what that person is saying. And at first it sounds impossible. There's nothing I can do with this. But you thought your way through it. And one of the biggest ideas you have is this flipping of the 60 vote requirement. We currently have in the Senate a 60 vote requirement to end a debate and then go on to voting. You're saying make that a 40 vote requirement to continue the debate. That would give Joe Manchin the minorities protection that he wants to give them, but it would be much harder for the Republicans to actually achieve that the way you see it.
Exactly so. And the idea here is, if you believe what Manchin has been saying, this sort of notion that, you want to have a minority that feels intensely about an issue, have to go to the mat, literally, and the mattresses, literally, to make their point of view known and to be able at least to block things for a while. But now there's no pressure on the minority. They have to do nothing to do filibusters on any issue. So let's return and make it painful to use. And we can add a number of things that make it more painful and more difficult. At minimum, they're only going to do it infrequently because it will be a difficult thing for them to entertain. And if we can do this on issues that really matter for people where there's strong majority support, we can break that. And we can actually accomplish some of the progress in areas like democracy reform, which are absolutely essential. And we have to, as you say, the Senate inside out. If you're going to get to 50, you're going to have to meet people and meet their objections. And I think there are ways to do this, and ways also, he wants to have debate and deliberation. This is going to require debate and deliberation. And if we make them stay on the floor, and it has to be germane, no reading of Green Eggs and Ham by Ted Cruz or others, but actually addressing those issues, a lot of people are going to pay attention, and there's going to be tremendous pressure on them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank all of you out there.
Thank you as always.
Thanks to at home.
Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for letting us into your homes during these extraordinary times.